Chino, Gordo. You know where we're going? You don't know where we're going, Gordo? I just told you, Chino, where we're going.
Bowling.
Bowling, there we go. And we're gonna eat a lot of bowlies, right?
Bowling?
Yeah, we're gonna eat a lot of bowlies while we're playing bowling at the Rose Bowl. That's a weird sentence to say all at the same time.
Bowling.
Yeah. I can see your ear. I can see all your earwax, Tia. My ear.
Nasty.
Chino. 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 I can see your mocos. Ew. Gordo, you look lost. You look lost, Gordo.
Can I see? Can I look in? Can I look at the back?
Chino, why are you touching the camera?
No, Bobby has to look at yourself. Bobby, look at yourself. Look at yourself.
Órale. Estoy bien gordo.
You're beautiful like that.
I'm beautiful like that.
Yep, I love you.
I love it too.
So we're going bowling?
Yeah, we're gonna go bowling. So we go eat bowlies at the Rose Bowl.
Where we kick the ball or throw the ball.
The kids can put the
No,
ball in their nose.
you roll the ball.
The bowling in their nose.
Bowling is when you roll the ball.
Oh, I love that game.
But if you're gonna play it in real life.
It's real life?
You know what bowling is, Gordo?
All
Yeah.
right.
We're gonna go play bowling.
I know how you grab the ball.
There's three holes on it.
You have to put your 3 fingers inside it and you throw it.
You roll it. You don't throw it, you roll it.
Like throw it
Because
the
if you
same.
throw it, it's gonna break the floor.
I'll break the floor.
Oh,
I'll do this. If Junior doesn't get a Happy Meal, I don't get a Happy Meal. Right, Junior?
but I'm paying for it.
And my mom and dad are going to pay it too.
Salud.
Thank you. Salud.
Gordo, you're gonna win?
I think so.
I think so. It's a nice ass limo, bro.
Which one are you paying attention
You ready to play bowling?
Yeah.
Gordo, you ready to play bowling? You're not ready to play bowling.
Oh no, no. Ya pagas el tablet.
My time is already off.
Okay, gordo.
to?
Apaga
Leave
el
it on the
tablet.
side. You guys are not going to touch it for a while.
Junior.
Yeah. Thank you.
Gordo, I think you're gonna wanna see
Junior,
this.
dinosaurs. Dinosaurs?
Gordo, apaga la tableta.
Get your mask on, guys.
Actually,
We're
dinosaurs.
inside. We're not.
Those are actually dinosaurs. A volcano. Is this all fake? They're all fake, but they're not real.
Now they're carrying the baby.
Dinosaurs are not real. Look, Gordo.
Hey, baby dino. Hey, that T-Rex over there is moving its tail.
Apaga la tablet. Put your tablet on the bottom.
No está de más de tu bolso, no me
Excited, Gordo?
It's already on.
I feel like
that dinosaur skull is cool.
a T-Rex? A green one. Stegosaurus. The purple Stegosaurus.
A purple what?
Stegosaurus. Look.
Can you see? Oh, wow. Yeah, I gotta buy myself a dinosaur. Look, they're gonna show you the little baby.
A baby dino.
Me salía en YouTube.
Look at that.
Look, guys.
Hey there! I'd like to introduce you all to Tyson.
Look,
Isn't
look,
he
look, look,
cutie?
look, see it.
Yeah, he's 6 weeks old right now, a little baby T-Rex. Alright. Isn't he cute? Alright. Enjoy the rest of your tour.
Our dinosaurs are supposed to play.
Alright, enjoy.
Look! A T-Rex versus whatever that dino is.
Is this thing working? This is Dino Dustin. Here's one of your guys to Jurassic Quest
Take your
Drive
seatbelt off.
Safari.
You guys wanna switch seats?
We should go over a
You don't wanna sit right here, Gordo?
please keep your hands, feet, heads, children, and others
Oh, what the hell? That looks cool.
inside your vehicle.
The blue one.
That blue one looks nice.
We know that
Is
there's
that
a
blue,
lot of
Gordo?
incredible sights
Is the
to
blue
take
one
in,
blue?
but
No
there
manches.
are
Oh, that's
areas
the
to pay full
Dilophosaurus.
attention
A
to
blue one. It's
as
not
well as distance to
Dilophosaurus.
the cars ahead.
This is tight.
Please observe
Like
a
it?
5-mile-per-hour
The volcano.
The only time you should leave your vehicle is at our designated restroom area. Our dinosaurs may seem scary, but don't worry. We have a perfect track record of 0 dinosaurs.
What's that, Gordo?
It's a fish
Well, I think
dino.
you guys are ready
Dino?
for your
No,
Jurassic
it's a
Quest.
fish dino.
What's it called?
Please pause the audio until you reach the first scene.
No, they don't.
I'm prehistoric fossil expert here at Jurassic Quest. What you're looking at is the Triassic period. The Triassic started about 251 million years ago in another period that we call the Permian. One of the earliest
what
dinosaurs
we
that we know
have.
of was Eoraptor.
The
Its name means dog
Morphosaurus.
tooth because it lived at the dawn of the age
That's
of
like a
dinosaurs.
Mosasaurus.
Eoraptor made its home in what is now Argentina about 231 million years ago. Beside that, it's a kind of skinny dinosaur.
Look, Gordo.
Coelophysis.
Look, Gino.
Its name means hollow because they had hollow sacks of air in their joints instead of cartilage. Coelophysis is the oldest known dinosaur from North America. And here is a large predator known as Parasaurus. Parasaurus is the name of one of the largest predatory dinosaurs that lived in the Triassic period. It lived in what is now Argentina about 231 million years ago.
Hey there, folks. This is Safari Sarah.
My
The
T-Rex.
Triassic period was the dawn of the age of dinosaurs, but it too
vayan los dos
had
ahí
come
parados.
to an end. Just a little over 200 million years ago, the Earth encountered
guys see
another
it?
mass extinction.
Pero Gordo no va a
Believed to be
ver.
caused by an increased period of volcanic activity, it caused the extinction
You little
of
child.
roughly 70%.
I'm excited. I was more excited about this trip.
This wiped out a lot of
You wanna switch
animals
spots?
at the time.
Okay.
Without big
What is it called, Gordo?
Oh, it is a Dilophosaurus. Oh, it's a baby.
Do you see the baby one?
Oh, I don't know what that one's
What the hell? I look like Monty.
What is it with their mommy? Gecko?
We can't forget about the small, long-necked animals swimming with. That's a
Careful with your phone, man.
another important part of this ecosystem. As a wise man once
There you
said,
go.
Just because Chino could see it correctly. Bájale bien la ventana.
here is
That's
the
not a
magical
Go.
Rio Florida,
Just because you can see it correctly, okay, mi amor?
Get on top of the
which
feet
is
so
a
you
kind
can
of
see
short-necked
better.
crazy
Look at this one. Look at this
out
one.
that the animals
It's a
you see
baby
here are not
Stegosaurus.
dinosaurs.
Ahí está
Oh.
abajo. Oh, ya no ves.
Time is the dinosaur.
Oh, what the hell?
Dinosaurs for the most part lived on
It's a
land
baby
and had legs that went
Stegosaurus.
straight
That's
underneath
the
their hips
mother.
and not
That's the
splayed out to
mother?
the sides like lizards
Oh, yo.
or crocodiles.
Ah.
Oh, you know, pull that chair. Se sienten arriba los dos. Sacas la ventana.
audio tour until you reach the
So
next
you can have better picture.
Hello, everyone.
I'm just recording
Creature
everything.
Party.
How do I put
Pleased
it
to
down?
make your acquaintance. Outside of your vehicle is where we keep our Dilophosaurus. Dilophosaurus was a predator from the very beginning. Here covered in plates. If you said Stegosaurus, you're right. Stegosaurus is a Jurassic plant eater
Hey, como que you need to like fast forward the video a little
I
bit.
think it's behind
covered
her.
in bony plates. Stegosaurus had a special weapon. Along its tail, it had a set of spikes.
Hey, that
T-Rex
was
isn't
moving
the
its
only
tail.
Allosaurus had long
Okay,
arms for a
Allosaurus.
theropod with big
Apatosaurus.
hooked claws.
Este es Apatosaurus.
These could help it grip onto its prey while it used its ceroscopic stress fractures on the bones of their forearms. This happens in bones when a person or an animal is using force to move heavy weight with their bodies.
Oh, it is moving.
They might have used their arms to keep prey from getting away, or possibly to hold onto a Stegosaurus's tail to avoid getting hit. The little guys in the scene are called guanlong.
No.
They're an early member of the Coelosaur family, a bit bigger. Specifically,
Stegosaurus is what we call a sauropod, or a long-necked dinosaur.
Oh, this one.
Sauropods were the biggest animals to ever walk on Earth. In order to get that big, sauropods had to eat all the time. To eat even more, these long-necked giants didn't even waste time chewing, but swallowed the leaves from trees whole. But they had a special trick to help them digest their food. Sauropods would sometimes crane their long necks down to the ground and swallow small stones. Those rocks would help them grind up their food once it was inside. Those rocks are called gastroliths, or stomach rocks in Latin. These gastroliths are super important because they help scientists learn the migration patterns of these dinosaurs by matching the gastroliths back to the areas where the rocks originally came from.
Please pause your audio tour until your dinosaur herd migrates on up to the next scene. Safari Sarah here again. After the end of the Jurassic, we find ourselves in the early Cretaceous period. The Cretaceous was the longest of the three periods of the Mesozoic. The Cretaceous period saw all kinds of strange new life forms, including weird new plants that we call flowers. We're starting off in what is now England during the early Cretaceous, roughly 120 million years ago. The duck-billed dinosaur you see is what we call an iguanodon, and it's one of the first dinosaurs to be discovered and named. Some of you might have already guessed that iguanodon means iguana tooth. When iguanodon was discovered in England, no one had ever even heard of dinosaurs yet. So when it came time to name this bizarre new animal, the only similarities anyone could think of were that its teeth kind of looked like the teeth of an iguana, only bigger. The very first drawings of iguanodon depicted it as a giant iguana-like creature.
Mando, read it.
The animal it's next to is Baryonyx. Baryonyx was a carnivore, and specifically, it ate fish. We know that it ate fish because when the first Baryonyx skeleton was found in England in the 1980s, it had fossilized fish bones and fish scales inside of its belly, along with a few bones from a young iguanodon.
Very little is known
Look at
about
this one.
Seat due to how recent of an
This is Seat.
it is. But it's thought to be a member of the Allosauridae group that lived into the early Cretaceous. Seats lived in North America at about the same time as some members of the Tyrannosaur family. But those Tyrannosaurs didn't get any larger than about the size of a Great Dane, because the alpha predator role had already been filled by Seats. It wasn't until Seats went extinct that larger Tyrannosaurs like Tyrannosaurus rex took the stage. Also in this scene, you'll see Deinonychus, or
The next one.
Deinonychus if you prefer. The name means terrible claw because of the sickle-like claws on its toes. If you've ever seen a movie that had a dinosaur called Velociraptor, there's a good chance it was actually a Deinonychus, and the director just thought that Velociraptor sounded cooler.
Make sure to pause your audio tour until you reach our next.
Our journey now takes us to the continent of Africa in the early Cretaceous period. The dinosaur standing here is one that I bet a lot of you know. Can you guess what it is? Did you say Spinosaurus? You got it! Spinosaurus is one of the largest carnivores to ever walk the earth. But it mostly ate fish. We know that because Spinosaurus' teeth are found embedded in fossilized bones of large fish. Although they have also been found in the bones of other dinosaurs. Spinosaurus is a creature that was a mystery for a long time. Its fossils were discovered in 1912, but they were destroyed during World War II, when the museum they were in was hit during a bombing raid. It wasn't until the 1990s when Spinosaurus' fossils were rediscovered. In fact, we've learned more about the Spinosaurus in the last 20 years than we have in the last century.
The ocean.
We now know that Spinosaurus was a massive predator that lived in and out of the water in marshy waterways of what we now know to be northern Africa, preying on fish the size of a car.
Oh shit! Look what's coming. Look what's next.
Hey, Dustin, is this a secure line?
Sure, I think. I just turned off the mic. Yeah, they definitely can't hear us now. What's up?
I just noticed that the T-Rexes aren't in their areas. Do you know if they've been moved to another location?
I haven't heard anything about moving them anywhere. They should both be there. I can check in with Nick and Marty to see if they know anything about this.
That would be great. I'll organize a search. We need to find them soon, but we cannot get our guests worried. Let's keep this on the down low.
Roger that. We're moving through time again, folks. Welcome to the late Cretaceous. The Spinosaurus we just saw spent a lot of time in and around water, and that's where we're going. Welcome to the Western Interior Seaway. That's a shallow sea that stretched from the Gulf of Mexico to the Arctic Ocean during the Cretaceous period.
No.
The Great Plains of what is now the United States and Canada used to be underwater. Lots of marine fossils are found in places like Kansas. The first creature here is the long-necked Elasmosaurus. It's a relative of the Plesiosaurus, but much bigger. Second is Archelon, the biggest sea turtle known to exist.
Oh, it's a
It had a
turtle.
leathery shell called a carapace. And just like sea turtles today, it probably laid eggs on land. The huge, fearsome creature is Tylosaurus. A relative of Mosasaurus, its name means the knob lizard because of a bony protrusion on the end of its snout that might have been used to ram into its prey. Tylosaurus is a member of the Squamata family. That's the group of reptiles that includes lizards and snakes. They had forked tongues for tasting scents in the water. They even had a row of teeth in the back of their mouths for holding onto prey in the water. And that scary fish that you see that looks like a cross between a piranha and a tuna is Xiphactinus. Xiphactinus was a voracious predator that lived in the oceans all over the world. It could reach lengths of up to 20 feet long.
Damn.
If you have any other questions about these creatures or anything else you see on the tour, while doing so, be sure to stay inside your vehicles for the duration of the tour. With all of these aquatic creatures, the last thing you want to do is get your phone wet.
Gino.
Hey Marty.
Is it cool?
It's Dustin.
Yeah.
I have a weird question here.
Gordo.
Don't freak
You like
out,
it?
but have you seen the T-Rexes?
The T-Rex is still
Well,
gone.
they were in the enclosure an hour ago when I went in to feed them. Are they not still there? We have a tour headed that way right now.
Okay, sorry, I hate to ask you this, but you didn't happen to turn off the invisible fence, did you?
Don't be silly, Dustin. How else was I supposed to get in there?
Marty, the fence only shocks dinosaurs that are chipped. You don't need to turn it off to walk in.
Oh. Well, I guess I learn new things every day.
This is serious, Marty. I need to call the security team right now to get those T-Rexes back before the tour gets to them. Or they get to the tour.
I'm sorry, Dustin. I didn't mean to cause any trouble.
Protect ourselves.
You never do, Marty. You never do.
Tricera, stop the audio tour until you reach the next scene. Welcome back to Asia in the late Cretaceous period.
Yeah.
Here we have 3 kinds of dinosaurs from Mongolia, starting with Velociraptor. Despite what you may have seen in movies, Velociraptor is not 6 feet tall, but actually about 3 feet tall, 6 feet long, and about 20 to 30 pounds. Just think of an extra scary turkey. We also know that at least one Velociraptor attacked a Protoceratops, the next dinosaur in this scene. This is thanks to the fossil of a Velociraptor and Protoceratops found, who died still locked in combat. The Protoceratops broke the Velociraptor's arm with its powerful beak, moments before they were both buried in sand by a landslide. The other dinosaur in the scene, Oviraptor, has an unfortunate name, meaning egg thief. When this dinosaur was discovered, it was found over a nest of eggs thought to belong to Protoceratops. After later research, scientists realized it was sitting on a nest of its own eggs. But the name stuck and is still debated if Oviraptor actually ate eggs. Here at Jurassic Quest, ours take theirs sunny side up every morning for breakfast.
Yet another dinosaur from Mongolia is the large Therizinosaurus you see here, with the long claws. The claws on its
What the
hands
hell?
grow up to 3 feet long, making them the longest claws in the animal kingdom. Most of what we know about Therizinosaurus comes from animals closely related to it. The only fossils we have of this animal are its shoulders, arms, and hands. It is believed to be an herbivore, but we are still looking for more fossils to know for sure. The dinosaur next to it is the Lorotitan, lived in what is now eastern Russia. It's in a special group of duck-billed dinosaurs called lambeosaurs, which are famous for the elaborate crests on their heads. These crests would have certainly served as display structures, but may also have been used in some lambeosaurs as resonating chambers, to make sounds used to communicate effectively through the herd. Speaking of communication, I've been directed to ask you all to keep an eye out for any free-roaming dinosaurs that may or may not be wandering around the park.
Hi, Park Ranger Marty here. Hope you're not mad at me about accidentally releasing the T-Rexes. Anyway, in this scene you see Xianchusaurus. Xianchusaurus is a tyrannosaur from China, and is closely related to Paleoramus from Mongolia. Both have awfully long, narrow noses for members of the Tyrannosaur family. We're not sure what those noses may have been used for. Maybe to cut through water, making them faster, more accurate fishermen, or maybe they were specializing in smaller, faster prey, not
A much different animal. Unlike a T-Rex, it has 3 claws on each hand, a lighter bone structure, and teeth that were designed for slicing. Unlike a T-Rex's, which were meant for crushing through bones and ripping car tops open. Speaking of which, if you see one of our missing T-Rexes, please let one of our 3 security guards know where.
No, Gordo, a
Second largest in the
Carnotaurus.
scene is Carnotaurus, which means meat-eating bull because of peculiar horns on its head. It might have used its horns as a weapon against other predators. It's a very funny-looking dinosaur, not just because of the horns, but because of its tiny little arms. Carnotaurus has one of the smallest arms of any known dinosaur, even smaller than the T-Rex. The small dinosaur you see in this scene is Albersaurus, a small, fast predator that lived in Argentina during the late Cretaceous period. It's believed to have eaten insects. Ew.
Please pause your audio tour until your dinosaur herd migrates on up to the next scene.
Gordo, what's your favorite one so far?
Welcomed.
Gordo, what's your favorite one so far? All of them?
The Indominus Rex.
It's gonna
I see the
eat you.
T-Rex over there. Oh, look! We got to report that T-Rex.
We gotta report the T-Rex.
You have to report it, yeah. Where's the
The
security, Chino?
Duck-billed dynasty. The dinosaur with the long crest on the back of its head is called Parasaurolophus. Parasaurolophus is a hadrosaur, a family of dinosaurs sometimes called duck-billed dinosaurs because of the shape of their snouts. Other hadrosaurs include Iguanodon head. What they found were tubes inside going back and forth between the nasal passage and the throat. When they recreated blowing air through their tubes, they discovered that the crest would have made a horn sound. The new script here just says make horn sounds. No, guys, I'm not gonna do that.
Sarah.
By the way, hadrosaurs are prey animals.
That's the T-Rex.
Their sound might have attracted large predators. If our missing T-Rex is hear that sound coming from one of your cars, they might be following the tour back in the direction of their cage. So perhaps we should move on to the next stop. Yeah? Yeah.
Idea.
Quetzalcoatlus is the largest flying animal to ever take to the sky. It lived in what's now Texas because everything is bigger in Texas. It's named after the Quetzalcoatl, the Aztec feather serpent deity. It had a wingspan of 36 feet. That's the same as a small plane. Standing like it is here, it was the height of a giraffe, but would weigh less than 600 pounds. That's a lot, but it's incredibly light for an animal of this size because it was doing everything possible to be as light as possible, including having very hollow bones. This is necessary for it to achieve flight. Quetzalcoatlus is actually not a dinosaur, but a pterosaur. Pterosaurs are a family of flying reptiles,
or horned-faced dinosaurs. The ones in this scene include Titanoceratops, Cosmoceratops, Styracosaurus, and Brachioceratops. Now, there are two families of ceratopsians, Chasmosaurines and Centrosaurines. Now, Chasmosaurines have two prominent eye horns above their eyes and a very large frill. Centrosaurines do not typically have prominent eye horns and tend to have smaller frills, but sometimes they have some rather ornate horns coming out of those frills. Now, if you'd like to learn more about ceratopsians or any dinosaur, you can text your questions to me at 844-DINO-411. That's 844-346-6411, and I'll be happy to help.
This armored dinosaur is Ankylosaurus, also known as fused lizard. Ankylosaurus was armored from head to toe with bits of bone. From their skin called osteoderms.
Yeah, the next
They
one.
are known for having a bony club tail, which was used to swing back and forth as a weapon to deter predators. Scientists have even found a T-Rex fossil with a broken leg that was shattered at about the same height as an Ankylosaurus tail club. This suggests that Ankylosaurus could fight off a T-Rex and possibly even win. The animal here is a Pachycephalosaurus, meaning thick-headed lizard, named after its thick, domed skull. It is often depicted as being used to headbutt each other for dominance, but some scientists think it is more likely used for displaying
a powerful bite to crush the bones of bread, or even tear through the roof of a car. A powerful bite wasn't the only trick that T-Rex had up its very short sleeve. It also had something called a septic bite. T-Rex had very short arms, so it couldn't brush its teeth. That means its mouth was filled with bits of its last meal, filling its mouth with bacteria. When T-Rex went hunting, it would sometimes bite into prey that got away.
No! The last T-Rex is in with the Triceratops' pen, and he's eating the Triceratops! Oh no, folks, this is terrible! That's my favorite Triceratops! Lisa, we've located the missing T-Rex! Lisa, do you copy? Oh no, this is terrible! Well, since we're here, Triceratops is an herbivore from the end of the Cretaceous
What
period.
happened, Gino?
That's the same
The
time and place that
Triceratops is
T-Rex
dying
lived.
because the
Now,
T-Rex
Triceratops
killed
needs
it.
3 horn face for pretty obvious reasons. Scientists used to think that Triceratops used the frill on the back of its head to defend its neck from T-Rex. That seems like it would make a lot of sense, but there's actually evidence that when T-Rex did eat Triceratops, he would sometimes bite down on that frill and pull the Triceratops' head right off. That meant it was less of a shield and more of a pull tab.
Oh shit, look what's next.
My favorite dinosaur. But that crest was still there for some reason. Most likely a display to attract mates or to scare away rival dinosaurs.
What's that, Gordo?
Wait, I think that T-Rex is starting to notice your vehicle. Better make like a tree and bark out of here.
The sharks
Well,
are
the
still
good news is, at least we're not going to see anything scarier or with a bigger bite.
And now for something scarier with an even bigger bite. Megalodon.
Megalodon.
Megalodon is the largest shark to ever swim the seas. It is believed to reach up to 60 feet in length and had rows of hundreds of teeth. These teeth would sometimes fall out and be replaced with new teeth, similar to sharks today. Megalodon teeth have been found on every continent, including Antarctica. For centuries, these teeth were thought to be the petrified tongues of dragons and sea serpents. What they actually were was no less scary. The good news is that Megalodon is definitely extinct, despite what some TV shows and movies would have you think. While the ocean can be treacherous, Megalodon is not the danger in it. At least, not anymore.
Hello? Is this thing on? This is Lisa, Jurassic Quest security liaison. Does anybody copy? I'm okay. It looks like our guests made it out safely too. Be sure to let the guests know that they can leave reviews of their experience on Jurassic Quest Facebook page and on Yelp and TripAdvisor. I know it helps us a lot knowing what parts of the tour they like the most. And you know.
Gordo, did you like it?
Yeah. Now we're gonna go bowling?
This was bowling. I was just lying to you, so that way we didn't know you were coming here.
I already know.
You liar.
Now we're going to the real bowling?
We're not going bowling.
Stop it, Mami.